My dad turned on the TV, and on the screen was a bank security footage. He said, "This is someone withdrawing my $300,000. Do you recognize her?" I went speechless. My sister dropped her glass. 30 minutes later, the police were at our door. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, or had to witness justice finally served, hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, comment below if you've ever caught someone in the act, and stay tuned, because this story is about betrayal, cunning, and the sweetest kind of revenge. I had always been the responsible one, the one everyone counted on, the one who never caused trouble. My parents had favorites, though it was obvious. My sister, charming, manipulative, effortlessly adored by everyone. And then there was me, practical, hardworking, quietly building a life, never asking for praise. It was my hard work that allowed me to finally move out and live independently. I had a decent savings account, a stable job, and a life I could be proud of. But my sister, she had always expected handouts, luxuries she didn't earn. So when my dad discovered $300,000 missing from his account, the tension in the house was electric. It had been a normal evening. I had just finished dinner and was settling on the couch when my dad stormed in, looking more furious than I had ever seen. He didn't yell at first, he didn't need to. His silence was sharper than any words. Then he turned on the TV. The screen flickered, and there it was. Security footage from the bank. Someone with my sister's unmistakable posture. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the subtle sway of her hips. Every tiny motion screamed familiarity. And there was no doubt my dad's voice confirmed it. "This is someone withdrawing my $300,000. Do you recognize her?" Time froze. My heart pounded in my chest. My hands went numb. My mind raced a million miles an hour. I couldn't breathe at first. My sister's hand trembled as she held her glass. Then, in a way that would haunt her forever, it slipped from her fingers and shattered on the floor. I watched, frozen, as she tried to form words but couldn't. My parents looked at her, disbelief mixing with anger, and then me. I could feel the weight of every secret, every lie, every moment she had manipulated those around her. And I realized something. The scales were finally tipping. The past years had been filled with her subtle cruelties. She mocked my modest lifestyle, dismissed my achievements, and made my parents question my worth. She had laughed while I struggled to make ends meet, always playing the golden child while I stayed quiet, patient, and careful. But tonight the truth was undeniable. 30 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. The police had arrived, and I could see the panic on my sister's face as her confident facade crumbled. Every second, every step closer to justice, felt like years of vindication. But here's what most people don't realize about revenge. It's never just about exposure. It's about precision, timing, and letting the natural consequences of someone's actions unfold perfectly. And I had been preparing for this moment in my mind for years. I remembered the countless times she had tried to manipulate me, to take advantage of my kindness, to make me feel powerless. I had kept meticulous records, bank statements, receipts, text messages, even subtle things she'd said that could prove intent. I wasn't just waiting for her to slip up, I was ready to ensure she would. When the police arrived, the scene unfolded like a movie. My dad replayed the footage on his phone, zooming in on her actions. The officers took notes, asked her questions, and watched closely as she stumbled through excuses that sounded hollow and rehearsed. And I realized something in that moment. My heart was finally light, free, for the first time. I wasn't just a bystander in my own life. I wasn't powerless. I was a witness to justice, to truth, and to the consequences of unchecked greed. The most satisfying moment wasn't even when the officers escorted her out, it was watching the shock on her face, the disbelief, the way she had underestimated me and everyone else in the room. All those years of manipulation, of charm and deceit, had amounted to nothing. I thought back to the subtle ways she had tried to sabotage my life, borrowing money she never returned, spreading rumors, making sure my achievements were minimized at every family gathering. And yet here she was, caught red-handed, powerless to deny what she had done. I remember the rush of adrenaline, my pulse thrumming in my ears, as I quietly stepped aside and let her face the consequences. I didn't need to shout or gloat. The law, the evidence, and the sheer audacity of her choices did all the work for me. Later, when the police left and the chaos subsided, my family was quiet. My parents avoided eye contact, still processing the betrayal and the fact that I had been right all along. My sister, she didn't say a word, not because she was remorseful, but because she realized she had lost not just the money, but the trust, the respect, and the control she had always assumed she had. I felt a strange mix of satisfaction and relief. Revenge, in its purest form, isn't about cruelty, it's about restoring balance. It's about showing that justice exists, that actions have consequences, and that sometimes the quiet ones who seem powerless are the ones who see and wait, preparing for the perfect moment. That night, I sat down with my parents, not to berate them, but to reflect on what had happened. We spoke honestly, for the first time in years, about expectations, favoritism, and the way trust can be both given and violated. It wasn't a perfect reconciliation, but it was real. And as for my sister, well, the lesson she learned that day would stay with her forever. Not just about money, but about arrogance, underestimation, and the reality that some doors once opened by deceit cannot be closed without consequences. Life has a way of balancing the scales. Those who underestimate you betray trust, or manipulate others may feel untouchable, but the truth has a way of catching up. Sometimes justice isn't loud or flashy, it's precise, inevitable, and unforgettable. If you've ever experienced betrayal, or witnessed someone finally face the consequences of their actions, comment below and share your story. Hit like if you felt the satisfaction of justice served. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of cunning, revenge, and the sweet taste of truth.